Hi, I'm Juliana Nicolini, and I have written a piece of prose. I would not describe myself as a creative person. Although I danced for 15 years growing up and reveled in it as an art form, I very rarely volunteered to help design a school poster, draw a picture, or decorate for any event whatsoever. I always felt as though I do not have a single artistic bone in my body. It was never my calling, and I was okay with that. I enjoyed writing poetry or prose, but never considered it as an art I created. Rather, it was a means for me to express my thoughts, attempt to get them in order, share them with a page when I felt no one else would care to listen. Otherwise, there was not much artistic beauty I felt I could bring into the world. While artistic was not a word I would use to describe myself, a few themes that came up when others described me seemed more apt anyway. Impatient, driven, purposeful, persistent. Items that I could find more easily in myself than the word artistic. I am impatient, sometimes almost to a fault. I see an end product or goal and waste no time, spare no extra thought. And I do fear that I may be a bulldozer to others in this process. I am driven not only by my purpose in life, but by my personal goals as well. To have drive is to be alive, in my opinion, and to be willing to embrace all that this life has to offer. I do not want to sit idly by and wait for things to happen to me. I could not accomplish all that I wish to, could not affect change, could not make a mark on this world by making myself small and simply hoping for the best. I have a purpose in my social work education, in my career, and in my life. I wish to see this world operating differently than it has before. I wish to see a more equitable world where compassion is our currency and love our labor. I have an eye for systems, for thoughts and beliefs that I feel could be altered. And I am persistent beyond belief. Similar to my drive, when I encounter a challenge, I do not hesitate. Perhaps overcoming the obstacle, not always with grace and definitely not always with ease, but overcoming at all is an art in and of itself. When I approached my friends and peers, family, colleagues, I was afraid. Asking about myself, looking for personal feedback, talking about these things in general felt weird, borderline inappropriate. It required a vulnerability that society often encourages us not to entertain. Why would I want to ask someone about my challenges when society tells me I should not have any? Asking this of my work colleagues proved the most difficult. Would human resources allow it? Was I overstepping workplace boundaries and painfully curated hierarchies that my company created? Did my school peers and colleagues have the time as they navigated their own summer courses? My mind was riddled with these doubts and power blocks. Frankly, I would have loved to ask my boss, but I was not able to overcome that one in particular. But I did learn something along the way about myself, about what I might take from this into my social work practice. I learned that perhaps I'm more in tune with myself than I realized, and that the world around me understands my true self, that there is a level of congruency with my own self-image and the image the world has of me. I am not an artist, but perhaps my drive, my purpose, impatience, and perseverance are an art. Perhaps my truest self, all of my challenges and strengths, are the art I bring into the world, the beauty I alone can create. And perhaps through this assignment, I was once again reminded that people are willing to help. I was never turned away for an interview. I was welcomed with open minds and arms. So if this life is a blank canvas, and if we are truly complex beings, perhaps we all have such color to contribute, simply with different artistic orientations and preferences. Our mediums may be changed. In my practice as a social worker, I would do well to remember this. As I dream of crafting policies and legislation to alter our unbalanced society, there is room for all artists, all voices, all preferences, all levels. And perhaps I, as a social worker, can come together with others to facilitate the creation of something beautiful, to allow all others to allow their truest selves to be seen in the world and be accepted as such. Thank you.